Suzanne and I met through our mutual friend Bing's Huang in Singapore. And Bing's mentioned that Suzanne and I had very similar human design charts and thought we might like to meet each other. And in case you're not aware, human design is essentially how you're wired. So Suzanne and I had a Zoom call a few months ago and really got along well. And she lives in Sydney, Australia. Suzanne is a mindset coach for weight loss. She believes people often gain too much weight themselves because they give too much help to others. They overeat because they overgive. The solution is to deal with the pattern of overgiving, not the pattern of overeating. Deal with that, and the food issues will largely take care of themselves. Suzanne's passion is fueled by her own weight journey, going from 150 kilograms to maintaining the 72 kilograms she is now. Suzanne uses a mix of modalities, including neuro-linguistic programming, hypnosis, and energy healing, to give her clients the accountability to create lasting change. So welcome, Suzanne. Once again, thanks so much for doing this video again. And I will pass the mic over to yourself.
Thank you so much, Scott. Thanks for having me. So, surviving to thriving, overcoming fat shaming. I'm really passionate about this topic because I used to weigh twice what I do now. And I know what it's like to avoid catching up with people because we're worried about what they might think. We could be significantly bigger than last time we saw them. We might have nothing to wear, like physically nothing to wear. Travel can be physically uncomfortable, like airplanes, even like if you're meeting people at a venue or at a restaurant, you're unsure if it will accommodate you. Like when I was at my biggest, I couldn't fit in a booth physically, I was too large, or chairs with arms in them. I couldn't sit down. So, there can be that embarrassment or that fear of humiliation before you even get there. And then beyond that, there's the comments. Like people may be really well meaning and say things like, have you tried insert latest thing here, paleo, keto, that kind of thing. Or sometimes a bit snarky, like, gee, you've bunged on the lard. And then they laugh it off to kind of make it like a joke, but it really, really hurts. And I've got other videos like where I talk about the 4 types of fat shaming, like, direct, indirect, intentional, unintentional, that sort of stuff. But for the purpose of today, I just want to say that, you are not alone. This is a lot of our secret shame. We don't talk about this. And even if we did, or we try and open up, there can be this, well, you've done it to yourself. You're the one who's ate. You eat. So you just feel really, really alone. And we beat ourselves up, and there's so much guilt and there's so much shame. And the shaming that we get from others is really a drop in the bucket compared to how much we shame ourselves. So what I want to talk about today is 2 types of tools to get out of this shame cycle. So the first one is the short-term tool. So it's what you do in the moment. It's only a band-aid. It's just going to get you through. So when you're feeling shame and you're quite reactive, especially if you've gone somewhere, like I've got young children, or I go with my partner, or it's some sort of catch up and someone else is driven and you can't really get out of there, the temptation in the moment is just leave. Like I can lost count the number of times I grab my kids, just let's go. And then I'm ruining the day for them. And then later I feel bad that they missed out, or I feel bad. So these short-term tools that help, with that. So the first thing is preparing ahead of time. So if you're meeting up with friends at a venue, if you're going to a restaurant, if you're going out somewhere, phoning ahead and making sure that you don't have the booth, like and asking about the chairs and saying that you need a chair without armrests and stuff. Most places are really, really accommodating. And if you don't want to say it's because of your physical size, you can say, you have an injury, a back injury, something like that. Places tend to be really accommodating. And then you just have that pressure out of your mind of like, will I be able to fit? Do I have to stand up all the time? Like that will be gone. So that's one thing you can do. But once you're already there, like when someone triggers you, like someone says something, they make a comment and try and laugh it off, or they start talking about diets and you just don't want to hear it. A really simple thing that we often overlook in times of stress is simply changing the topic. How's the weather? How's your kids? How's your job? Whatever. Change the topic. And sometimes it will keep coming back and you need to keep changing it. But, it's really, really powerful and it's really simple. And you just keep bringing it around. How's the food? Whatever. But just so you're getting out of it being, out of the danger zone. And I just wanted to say that, it can feel like it's all in your head, and it can be like gaslighting, because, people can say, oh, I'm worried about your health. And your physical health, I'm not saying that's not important, but that's only part of the picture. What about your mental health? What about your emotional health? These things, these comments, they can ruin your whole day, and they can stay with you long after you've left and things. So if people are like if you're opening up about, I'm finding this conversation hurtful, I've had this with a few like family members in the past, and then they just come back at me with, oh, we're worried about your health. That's only part of the picture. So depending on how strong you are and how you feel, then you can bring that up and say, well, physical health's only part of it, or you can just change the topic, but know that there's more to this picture. And when you are feeling hurt, like something's happened, you can escape in the moment without escaping entirely. So what I mean by that is, if someone says something that hurt your feelings, excuse yourself, go to the bathroom, wash your hands, take a couple of breaths and say, like, what do I need right now? And what you might need is like, I just need to go home. I just need to get out of here. But you might not be able to because you've got your kids there or your partner there or you're carpooling or something. So how can you escape in the moment? Could you go for a quick walk in the garden or outside? If you're at someone's house, could you offer to do the dishes or clean away, pack away, something that, you're just away from the people for the moment and you can just be with yourself? I'll go and check in on the kids. People think you're the best guest ever because you're cleaning up or you're checking the kids, but it's just giving you that space, to come back into self. And what I want to say is these are short-term tools, and why are they not enough? Because the thing is, with this guilt and the shame, we can flip from that into blame. So it's my parents' fault. This is all my old stories. I get it. My parents' fault. They never modeled good health to me. It's my genes' fault. It's in my genes. It's their fault because they commented, like, this guilt, shame, blame. It's two sides of the same coin. When you feel shame, you're taking all the responsibility. It's my fault. I ate the food. I'm lazy. I can't do it. But then when you go into blame, it's all someone else's fault. You take no responsibility. It's my parents, it's my genes, it's my culture, it's my society. So the longer term tools I'm going to talk about, why they're really important, is they over time clean out the wound. Like the short term tools get you through that moment, and the longer term tools are the things to help build up your resilience and identify the stories that you tell yourself and see them as stories. And I know that might be hard to hear. I know at the beginning when someone said that to me, I was like, it's not a story, it's a truth. I come from a fat family. But when you keep saying that to yourself, that's what you keep creating. Your thoughts become things. So some of the longer term tools are journaling, because it's really powerful to change our thoughts. When it's out of our head and onto the paper, then we can question it. When we think it, we don't question it because that's just the way it is. It's the way it's always been. When we've got it written down and we can read it back, we can be like, is that true? Is that really true? And I can think so many things. Why am I choosing to think this one? And then the other one is meditation. So something I started in 2015, I started meditating every night for 15 minutes just before I went to bed. And I didn't hold much hope that it would actually do anything, but I got to the point where I've done the diet and exercise thing so many times before. So in order to create something different, I had to do something different. And, when you begin to journal, when you begin to meditate, when you begin to see things differently, it's not that the circumstances have changed, but you have. And when you lift your thoughts out of that shame, blame place and into the, more positive states or more helpful day-to-day states, then that becomes your new way of being. So for the presentation today, I've recorded a meditation about body acceptance and body confidence. And I know you might be like, oh, if I accept the body I have now, I'll lose all my motivation to change. But I really encourage you to question that thought, because how has beating yourself up for all this time helped? It really doesn't. And when we accept ourselves as we are, I truly believe, then we give ourselves permission to change. And that's certainly been my story over the last 5 years. Yes, it did take 3 years to release that weight. It wasn't my entire body weight, like twice what I did now, but I've maintained it. Actually, we're 2021 now. I've maintained it for 3 years now. So when you change and you become a new way of being, these things become easy and effortless. Not effort none, but effortless, because it becomes just the way that you are day to day. So I really encourage you to work on the short-term things to get you through in the moment when you're feeling triggered. and then take the time daily, like 15 minutes, carve that out a day, to do longer term things like meditation and journaling, and have that become your practice, because when you see things differently, things become different. So thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you, Suzanne. Sorry about my phone beeping there. I didn't think it was going to go. Um,
It's all good.
yeah, and I just wanted to say, first of all, congratulations, huge congratulations to you for being 3 years. Because it just goes to show that what you do, what you practice in your own life, has lasting benefits. And as you said, it's not a quick fix. However, it's a permanent fix.
Yes.
And
So it takes time, but it's totally worth it, because all you ever have is now. So like, people often ask me how long it's going to take, or 3 years sounds like so long, but now I literally lost track of it, because now is all we have.
mm, yeah, and for those of you watching who really resonate with Suzanne as a person and would like to know more about her, what she does, and check out this recording that she kindly offered, I will put those links in the video description. So please go and check those out. And once again, a huge thank you to Suzanne for doing this video another time, and for giving her time and sharing some of her expertise and her journey with us today. So take care, Suzanne, and be well.
Thanks, Scott.
You're very welcome.